Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Catering Circle Season 2, Episode 5. And you know exactly what happens here, right? This is where it all gets heated because we're looking for our role models in the business industry, especially in the restaurant industry. And how are we going to find them? Well, as always, we have 8 nominees that will be participating in today's competition, and only 2 will make it through to the finals to compete at the business conference in 2018. It's been a great roller coaster ride, and you know what? We've found some great competitors, and I cannot wait to see what we have in store for the business conference in 2018. Here's a recap of what we've found already. Welcome back to the Catering Circle, Season 2, Episode 4.
If it works, why do you change?
Balances flavour and health at the same time.
We need to take the industry way forward.
Green food is another way to move forward. Just focused on the desires and the demands of the customers.
If we don't have in the menu chicken tikka masala, they don't think it says Indian restaurant.
Oh wow, I've had something new today which I've never had before, and it removes the misconception that Indian food...
I still believe that the traditional menu still works.
We're trying to incorporate, have everything healthy.
I think that they're targeting the mass market, they're trying to utilise the talent they've got.
Keeping the original vintage, bit of tweak on the healthier option and substituting the certain ingredients.
I thought they was all great. They've all got good value. They've all got great ideas, great concepts.
More traditional customer base, so they were looking for traditional dishes. Yeah. So if they can look at grilled dishes, definitely.
Talking about the protein, perhaps, you know, there's a move towards eating more high protein diets, high fibre diets, and not just counting calories.
Whenever anyone says the Indian food was unhealthy options, I don't agree. I always disagreed in a big conference, because if you ever had the Nawab time of Nawabs, the food in Asian subcontinents, you know, you will remember how healthy this food was, even on 21st century.
Now the eating habit is being changed over the years.
When it comes to innovation, I say innovation is creation. So, you know, something out of the box, think always out of the box.
Word of mouth, the customers. When we satisfy the customer, they're going to tell their office colleagues.
The decor, the food, the drinks, and we encourage customers to come in and use their own followers and their own base to shout about.
What the community has given us, we try to give back. So we sponsor kids' football teams. We sponsor the cricket club.
Got an A-board outside, just put all the specials there, just to let people walking past to know what new food is going on.
Clearly has made sure that everything from the staff, the communication the staff are giving, through the branding, the colours, everything just works beautifully with the whole concept.
When I go into a restaurant, I feel like, oh wow, this is India, this is beautiful. And having travelled to India as well.
Healthy ways jodi amra jo kori dekha geche grill theke tandoori oven is more healthier.
Be an Instagrammer,
yeah.
You know, rather than being in a traditional restaurant where people find it a lot more harder.
Gets people in the door and ultimately gets people to try your food, which is what you want.
How much we are buying chicken and how much we are buying meat. That's the main worker.
I cut out the middleman. I go direct to the source.
We compared to all the different wholesalers and suppliers, and we found out the cheapest one.
So what is the major challenge for you, being young and innovating in this space?
How do you manage the cash flow?
2 will be eliminated today and only 2 will make it through to the grand finals. We have in second place Chit Chat Chai with 70% and in first place School of Spice with 80%. There you have it. They were the winners from last week, well, actually the week before. And God, it was a great episode because the heat was definitely on. And actually, somebody on our panel today was definitely here last week, and he can also tell you that it was a very difficult episode to judge. So I'm going to introduce you to our panel judges today who hold 60% of the voting rights. I have with me first Mr. MD Abdul Haq, who is the Vice Chairman of Channel S Television, the IT and media specialist and successful businessman, founder of Catering Circle and the man behind this platform that we do, and of course he's also the presenter of the IT show Bits and Bytes. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you very much.
And wasn't it really hot? Like, it was heated on the last episode,
the last
wasn't
episode was very close.
It was very
everyone
difficult.
was doing very well. So
yeah, and there were like lots of tie-breaking moments, wasn't there?
well, because it was live voting, the participant we thought going to win, is not the person, it's someone else. So that was quite interesting.
It was very
it's all down to the judges.
It is all down to the judges. You hold 60%, which is the majority, and our special judges, who I'll introduce later, hold only 40%. So you know, you do have a big responsibility today. And right next to you, I have Ms. Helen Statham. Welcome to the show. Operations Manager, Food and Workplace Safety Licensing and Trading Standards at Ealing Council, and also as a Regional Safety Advisor for the Salvation Army. Welcome to the show. This is your first appearance on TV, I hear.
It is, yeah.
A little nervous?
A little.
It's fine. You know what? They'll feel the heat more than you, so don't you worry. And right next to you, I have with us a very familiar face, Mr. Sagurbokht Farooq. Welcome to the show. Now, he needs no introduction, but I shall still give you an introduction. Ex-president of the British Bangladeshi Chamber of Commerce and Industries, also the first Bangladeshi trainer who provides food hygiene training, health and safety training, and HACCP training for all sorts of food handlers in a diverse range of premises. He is also an accredited trainer for the internationally recognized Chartered Institute of Environmental Health, Royal Society of Public Health, and MLC, and also welcome host. And doesn't stop there, he is also the author of the book called Food Hygiene. That's probably just some that I've mentioned, which relates to today's show. So welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. And the reason why I had to tell you everything about our panel judges and everything about food and safety, because today's topic is all about food safety and health and safety. Let's go and take a look a little bit more about today's topic.
Episode 5, Food Safety and Health Safety Issues. Maintaining strict health and safety rules and regulations, as well as being in line with trading legislations. Having a 5-star rated food business is essential for good business. Thoroughly complete the Safer Food, Better Business SFBB folder and checks on a daily basis. Monitor efficiently the food safety standards via checklists or audits and take appropriate action. Attend food safety training seminars or courses and beware of food safety hazards. Customers must be hazard-free, free from physical, chemical, allergenic and microbiological contaminations. Be alert to the sources of these 5 hazards with 5 Ps. 1. Premises or place. 2. Person. 3. Pets. 4. Pest. 5. Products. The businesses are required to follow 5 Cs. 1. Cleaning and disinfection. 2. Cooking. 3. Cross-contamination. 4. Chilling. 5. Caring management. Maintain a lawful system called HACCP to get 5 stars from your local council.
Well, a very intense topic indeed, but I'm looking forward to knowing everything about the health and safety aspect of things in the restaurant industry. And to help us today to make the right decision to find those 2 winners from today's episode, I have with me our special judges. And today I have with me firstly, welcome back again, Mr. Abdul Haq Habib, who is a senior risk control consultant with more than 8 years of experience. He's also the MD of London Training Centre and chairman of ICRA International. Welcome to the show. And right next to him, I have Arlene Ofder Moi, who is a prominent training consultant for independent hospital and healthcare professional. Welcome to the show. And I also have Mr. Sultan Baba, a successful businessman, press and publication secretary for British Bangladeshi Caterers Association. Welcome to the show, sir. And I also have Mr. Mohib Chowdhury, a successful businessman, Senior Vice President of British Bangladeshi Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Welcome to the show. And I also have Mr. Raza Mia, Senior Local Authority Officer covering food, health and safety and licensing. Welcome to the show. I also have Mr. Arup Das Gupta, who's the Executive Chef at the Lalit London and also an Executive Chef of Holiday Inn in Mayfair. Welcome to the show. I also have Mr. Jamal Ahmed, a training consultant, MD of Hamlet's Training Centre. Welcome to the show. And I also have Mr. Abdul Bari, successful businessman and community activist, and also the CEO of the Royal Regency. Welcome to the show. So we have some big names today with us, and I am so excited to see what our contestants have in store for us. So let's go and take a look at their profiles. Unfortunately, Belwaris had to leave us today and is not participating in today's competition. So we only have 7 participants participating in today's competition. I'm going to go straight to our panel judges and I'm going to ask Mr. Huck firstly. How do you feel? What are you expecting from our contestants today?
Well, firstly, it's a big subject today, food safety as well as health safety. I know a lot of the participant polygraph 5-star, everyone. But also I want to see, as far as not just food safety, but health safety in terms of fire. I know the fire been a big issue, especially Greenfield Tower fire. Remember, we've had it recently. But also this year, quite a close friends of mine, 2 of them, to be honest, the New Bengal and another one is Chowdhury's in Southend. Had a major fire in their restaurant. So it's not just a Tower Hamlet fire, but overall there has been a lot of fire. So it's a quite big thing for the media as well. So we want to make sure that fire risk assessment done properly in the restaurant. The other thing is allergen. We know that last year, May 2016, we had a peanut curry death. Someone, a Bengali owner. Family, we know them anyway. But the manslaughter charge, that's quite serious, 6 years jail, not managing their allergen, 14 allergens properly. So we want to see a bit more on that, apart from first aid and other things. So those kind of things, really.
Thank you very much. Ms. Statham, now you've got a lot of experience in health and safety, working for a local authority. What advice would you like to give our contestants today?
It'd be interesting to see just sort of, I suppose, from a perspective of a business, how important they see food and health and safety as a crucial part of the business and not just something that they do to sort of tick a box or to meet the sort of requirements of the local authority. Actually, something that's quite embedded in the business is something really important from my perspective. Actually shows that it's kind of a really kind of crucial part of their business model. So that's kind of where I'm interested.
Thank you very much. Mr. Farooq, you've got heaps heaps of experience when it comes to the restaurant industry, and obviously being one of the lead trainers for health and safety aspects. What advice would you like to give to today's contestants?
Thank you. If you look at the theme of this episode, we are talking about the food safety and health safety. There are two safeties here. If you can make your food safety and yourself safe as well, the entire industry will be safe. All we are trying to do here is to save the industry. We know that every day the restaurants are closing down. But these are the big issues. The key issues are how to make the food safe, how to keep yourself safe. So these are the two things. If we can address these, and if we find out the regions, and then we can control these two, I think we can make a huge contribution to the industry in saving it from closing down, from collapsing the entire industry.
Yeah.
And I think Channel S, what they are trying to do, they are not only trying to save the industry, but they are trying to actually make an impact in the community.
Absolutely.
And everybody has got a stake in it.
Yeah.
I got a stake in it as well because I'm a tutor and I have visited so many restaurants across the country, and I have seen that these are the two issues which we are talking about tonight.
Absolutely.
So I hope that these two issues will bring about a good, fruitful result tonight.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Farooq. So without any further ado, I think we should start on today's first round, which is all about their success stories around food safety and health safety. So bring on the first contestant. So if I could have from Cinnamon Spice, Mr. Ashmere on the stage to come and talk to us about his success stories and how he manages his food safety and health and safety aspect to things at Cinnamon Spice. Now for this first round, you will all have exactly 120 seconds, which is 2 minutes, to talk about your success stories, and I will tell you when your time is up. Are you ready, Ashmere?
Absolutely, yeah.
Your time starts now.
As an employer, it's our duty to make sure the staff are fully trained in food safety, as is a vital aspects of the business. HACCP is a hazard analysis critical control point. What we do with that is we monitor, we follow the government protocol which was introduced back in 2006 or 2007, I recall, about safer food, better business. It's a standard protocol which every business follows, and they're judged on whether the star rating is 5 or 1. And it's more transparent that way. So the government, what they do is very transparent. The fact that businesses can see whether they're 5 stars or 1 stars. We've maintained 5 stars for 8 years consecutively. So from 2009 to 2017, we've been awarded by the Tower Hamlets, the local council of Ashford, Kent. What we do is we maintain everything, and we do it into an advanced stage, not just a standard. We train staff. We have a allergy book which we give to the customers. We also highlight that very clear on our menu. We have a fire risk assessment, complete full risk assessment strategy, which we maintain the grease filters. We also maintain the drainage system underneath. We also show the council where the oil, what we're doing with the waste oil. We're not chucking it through the drain. We're not blocking the pipe works. We also put a camera through the drain to show the council that it's all clean, there's no fat or grime in the drain. We also make sure that there's another important thing with the grease, with the fire risk assessment. If the filters are not cleaned thoroughly, then what happens is the insurance, public liability insurance, gets voided. So that's a very important, factor that everybody needs to understand, that if the filters are not clean, your insurance are void. And also, staff training is very key.
I'm going to let you finish this sentence.
Staff training is very key. That's something that we particularly focus on every week in, week out. And we maintain it throughout. And we also...
Thank you. We're going to stop there. We're going to stop at the end. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Ashmere. That was very in-depth indeed, so well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, our second contestant from Yuva is Mr. MD Akbar Hussain, and the same thing goes for you to talk about your success stories around food safety and health and safety. So please take it away, and you also have 120 seconds and your time starts now.
Thank you very much, Channel S, for selected me today. This is I'm very young people, and I started my business about 10 years ago. It was very antique building. Nobody want to buy this story. How gonna invest your money? And I discussed with my brothers, all family members, and we take the risks, and we started this business. Hopefully, it's going 10 years. It's continue. We are very well. And last 3 weeks ago, we are the best Indian fine fusion in the Hertfordshire. And we do stuff, full food safety and health safety. Both topics is very important for any businesses. If you do lacking anything, you can't do running good business in your life. So food safety, nowadays, some chef, they're cooking too much food. They don't know how much booking in your restaurant, how much is food you need it every day. Because host people, a chef is very talented. They know how many people will come Monday or Tuesday night. They know, they keep it. There is lots of Indian restaurant, they keep lots of made food and put in the freezer. This is no good. Because if you put anything in the freezers or anything, you can't go test in your real life. I advise all of the Indian restaurant owner, try to check everything and make sure checking, because host people is manager, not only manager, only staff as well. End of night, you checking everything. Because if you do start any work in the Indian restaurant, we're feeling lazy because this is not good. That's why is the fourth thing is the very important everything. Health safety. Health safety is the main issue in any businesses. If you're not feeling well, that is not good. If you're not smiling, even though, if you just stay here, customer, if you give the good food, this is not good for you. You have to smiling. You have to do conversation, nice to talking each other. That's the good thing.
Your time is over.
Okay,
I know
thank
you had 4 points, but your time is over. Do you want to quickly just mention the 4 points, not go into it? What were your 4 points?
So
one was health and safety. What was the second one?
Health safety, always keep in everyone concentration is your
next
business.
one?
Yeah. Okay. So is fire risks everything, because lots of businesses they have the fire risks, they don't know how to use it.
And the third one?
Third one is the ventilations and the prevention, quality insurance management, everything keep it here.
And the fourth one?
So is premises license. So you have to knowledge. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I want you to get that in. Thank you very much. That was very good. God, I actually feel like the stepmom who has the fire out. I'm like a dragon who shoots them down as soon as their 120 seconds are up. But I promise you this is worth it, and you guys are talking about everything that you need to. Next up, I've got from Panchi, Mr. Hafzul Rahman Kamali and Mr. Mansoor Ahmed. We've got 2 today. Who's going to be fighting over the mic?
I think I'll let him start and then I'll finish off. I think this is a good way to show.
You've got 120 seconds.
Yeah, this is the kitchen and the front, and that's how we're going to show how we work together to get the
That's
across.
fine.
So please.
Your 120 seconds start.
Thank you, Nadia. Personal achievement বলতে আমি বাংলাতে বলতেছি
জি অবশ্যই
অ্যাচিভমেন্ট বলতে আমাদের রেস্টুরেন্ট 5 স্টার and top 5 in এশিয়ার আর এই রেস্টুরেন্ট আমি ক্লোজ অবস্থায় আমরা ওপেন করেছিলাম এখন আমরা ভালো বিজনেস করতেছি 8 জন স্টাফ দিয়ে শুরু করেছিলাম এখন বুঝতে পারতেছেন আমাদের স্টাফ 15 জন আছে প্লাস মেইনটেইনিং যেটা আমরা করে থাকি 5 স্টার পাওয়ার পিছনে ক্লোজিং মেইনটেনেন্স একটা আছে ওপেনিং চেক এন্ড ক্লোজিং চেক এইটার মধ্যেই সব কিছু এসে যায় সব কিছু দিয়ে আপনি প্রপারলি চেক আপ করেন তাইলে সব কিছু এখানেই হয়ে যায় আমি
Thank you.
Basically, I think when we first started as a team, we took over.
I'm going to ask you to come closer to the mic.
We took over a restaurant that was actually closed for the food and safety reasons, where they found things that shouldn't be in there. So we took that with a negative kind of output on the community, and it was closed down for that. So from the beginning, it was one of the things that at top of our to-do list almost was to make sure that that's the thing we hit. Running. So from beginning we made sure everything was controlled. We made sure health and safety, food hygiene rating was always maintained, clean as you go. The staff were well trained, Everything was looking after the stocks, rotation, stock, everything was safe. So nothing, there wasn't an inch of way of something going wrong and for us to fall into that same trap that the previous owners or the restaurateurs fell into. So our aim was from the beginning to make sure that was a priority that we kept on top of. How we did that, we basically made sure that we did limited the cooking, the stock we had. We kept eye on the cleaning process. Everything was clear to clean as you go. Made sure all the hygiene, all the training was up to date.
Staff training.
Yeah, staff training is very important to us. So it's not
Time's
just.
over. I'll let you finish
All
that
right.
sentence.
Staff training is very important to us. It's not just the management side that looks after it. There's a chain of command. Everyone needs to know it. So once one person away on annual leave, whatever, someone else will have to step in to take that position of responsibility.
Brilliant.
Okay?
Thank you
Thank you
very,
very much.
very much. That was from Kanchi. Thank you very much. Next up from Pataris, I've got Mr. Rajid Mannan to come on and also talk about his success stories.
Good evening.
The time starts now.
Right, I'm going to go straight to the point, and I'm going to say the easiest way to maintain health, safety and hygiene is we break it down. You've got to break it down into exactly bit by bit and give everybody the key responsibilities. So, because you've got so many things there, a chef, he can't do everything, you know. So you've got firstly, as soon as you go into your business, before you even open, you need to check the health safety of yourself, of your colleagues, of the kitchen. I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but our kitchen is like a nursery. There's signs and things. It's hazard free, you know, so it can't go wrong. You need to check your colleagues. You need to check are they wearing the right uniform. Is all the equipment checked? You know, we have the FSA. They're there. The website. You can download so much information to check if you're compliant or not, and all the equipment for the safety needs to be checked. You do all that, you know, there's a booklet where you can check every single thing. There should be a checklist every day that you check and open your restaurant. And then you've got two sides to your food side. You've got the food handling side and you've got the cleaning side. Now, food handling, obviously, again, there's enough information to help. The local authority are there they're not like a police officer. They're not there to inspect us and tell us off. They're there to help us. You know, we use them as a guideline. And so how your cooking, your storage, you know, your temperatures, even to the simplest thing is your rice. A lot of people undermine rice. A rice needs to be cooked and chilled in a certain way. You know, it's the littlest thing. It's common practice. So if that's in our daily practice, it's a piece of cake. You know, and then things like fire, you know, your PAT testing every year needs to be done up to date. Your building insurance, your public liability, all these things are reviewed every year, weekly. You know, we have a booklet where my chef's got responsibility, I've got responsibility. Even me, as running as a business, you know, I'm not just there to observe. I've got things to do.
I'm going to stop you there. I'll let you finish the sentence.
I don't just nag at my work, you know, for safety issues. Are they doing monitoring there? The facilities, the equipment, everything needs to be checked. Everything, you know. Thank you.
Brilliant.
I'm out of time.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Next up from Dalchini Spice, I've got Mr. Shimon Ahmed, and if I could also request you to talk about your success stories around food safety and health
Okay,
safety.
Assalamu alaikum and good
Time
evening to
starts
you.
now.
Sorry.
No.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Thank you, Channel S, to having me here tonight. And I have a little note. The reason for me to do that to cover up the maximum within this short time. We've recently been awarded a 5-star hygiene rating, so I'm going to share with you for just within a minute how we achieved that. It's very easy to achieve a maximum star if you know what to do, but in the same time it's never easy if you don't know what you're doing. To achieve a maximum star, you have to follow the procedure. This is based on my own experience. To study the book, The Safer Food, Better Business, this is very important. You have to follow the structure. As example, if you have a cracked tile in the kitchen, try it to repair it or change it. If you have any shellfish in the kitchen storage, damaged or broken down, change it or repair it. Every year, paint the kitchen. It will look fresh and clean. Don't use the very old equipment. We'll go to the hygiene now. Hygiene train your staff to maintain your hygiene regularly. Every day use clean coats, apron and head caps. Make sure you use the right sink for hand wash and washing up your products. As example, go to the next one. If you have enough space in the kitchen, I will recommend to have a sink just for hand wash only. To make sure your all equipment are clean, including inside and outside, use the right chopping board and a knife, and time to time update this. And have a separate area for the raw food preparation and salad preparation. Clean the dustbin. Clean the dustbin every night.
Your time's up, but I'll let you finish this point.
Okay. Okay. At the fridge, use the right shelf for the raw food and the cooked food. Make sure food divided into smaller portion to help the fridge better. Use the daily level every night. Don't keep cooked food over 2 days.
Yeah.
Clean the area as soon as you have.
Brilliant. Thank you. I'm going to stop you though. I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank
That
you.
was
Thank
really
you.
good. Thank you. 120 seconds go really, really fast. All I can say is the second round will only give you 60 seconds, so be prepared for that. Next up from Balti Mahal, I have Mr. Saiful Islam.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone.
Walaikum salam.
I'm Saiful Islam, as you know. Come from Bangladesh very recently, and I started my business. I got a good job, but I had to jump this business. That was a dump hub I taken over 2011, and I refurbish everything. Although this is a dump pump, I maintain the 5-star from the starting. What things is achieve is easy, but maintain is very hard. I'm doing this hard work over the past years. For 5 key things I remember: training for the food safety, health safety, fire, cross-contamination, pest control, and gas safety. If you maintain that, you will maintain your 5-star every time. So every day, I will make sure everything has been checked. What I said, we got this spreadsheet in there. So we make sure everything tick before we closing this restaurant, and of course, open the restaurant. So nowadays, very, very, very serious is the cross-contamination and the allergens. So if we don't do that, this last years we had a big incidents by this north somewhere. He's been imprisoned. So always I trying to do food, whatever food the chef cooked is been leveled in there, not to use after the 3 days, and always I am maintain this. Everyone is fit for works. They don't not bringing any bacteria or any illness to this restaurant. I never compromise with the freshness and qualities. Always maintain these qualities and freshness to the customers. Of course, I do this training day by day. If anything happening, we do this weekly meeting within the staff. We're sharing this their information.
I'm going to stop you there, and I'll let you finish this sentence.
So yeah, that's fine. I'm just wanted to say, training is the best way to improve your 5-star rating or maintain is a 5-star rating. Training.
Thank you so much. It's all about the training. Thank you. Last but not least, from Olive Limes, I have Mr. Mohammed Hassan. And the same question goes for you to talk about your food safety and health safety success stories.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.
Time starts now.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. First of all, we had a journey into gaining our 5-star. We acquired the business in 2007, and we've had an uphill struggle. The reason being, we've done all the 5, your hazard perception and everything, all those things. We maintained it, and we've done everything. We've struggled to get the star, but a couple of months ago, we've gained the star. Our reason being was that a lot of people will probably have an adjacent building with where their buildings are, where the premises are. We have a gym which is connected to our building. We share the same drain. And we couldn't ascertain where the problem was coming from. They were complaining, health people were coming in, doing their liquid checks and everything. But finally, we kept on our guard, and we've done everything we can. And after, say, 9 years, we gained our 5-star, so which is a great milestone for us. And one of the important things is a lot of the front of house managers or owners. I think timing is important. Coming first, leaving last is one of the things that we should do. And one of the things I do, I'm like known as a vampire, so to speak. I will stay last. I'll make sure that I run through everything, the last checks. I have a big building, several points. Do all the blind spots and make sure they're finished. Even the dustbins are covered. Everything's put away. The dirty laundries are out the way, so we don't have all these contaminations. In the morning when they come, make sure the thawing process is in the actual cold room, not in the sink. So a lot of people don't do. Things like that, because we've had issues like that before.
I'm going to stop you there. Your time's up, but do you want to finish that sentence?
Well, importantly is having a partner chef helps and working together. I think that's what is important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I told you this was a difficult one, and in 120 seconds to cover 2 very big topics is very difficult. But I must say these contestants were very well prepared, and I was definitely impressed. And I hope my judges, my special judges and panel judges were also impressed. But this is where it gets difficult for them, and they're about to feel the heat because they're going to vote. And just for you at home that don't know, a reminder that the panel judges hold 60% of the voting, and the special judges hold 40%, which is 5% each of the voting. So a lot of this relies on you guys right here today in the studio. So good luck with that. And whilst they get grilling or get heated under the grill, we're going to go on a quick break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Well, actually, sorry, I've just been told from production, before we go on to a break, I'm going to speak to our judges and ask them to tell us a little bit about what they feel went right. So I'll start with you.
Firstly, as we said from Catering Circle, that this show is all about educating or a bit of fun. So everyone here I'm very proud of them to be here, and everyone is a winner, by the way. So guys, don't think you've done bad. But out of all of that, we obviously have to decide 2 has to be out or 1 in this round. I think everyone did very well, but a lot of the subject wasn't covered. Maybe a lot of the participants are first time here. I really like the training part. Balti Mahal covered quite a bit of training, because training is one of the key to get health and safety sorted and food safety. Cinnamon spice, Ashby did very well, covered allergen, and everyone else kind of liked it too as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I will speak to the judges a bit later on, but I'm going to come straight through to our special judges because a lot was mentioned about training. We have 2 MDs from training centres here today, actually. So I'll come to Mr. Habib first. They talk a lot about training, and they talk a lot about that's the most important thing when it comes to health and safety aspect to things. What are your views on this?
Okay, I think in terms of training, it's really pleasing to see that everybody has been emphasizing on the training side of it. And as you can see, I think out of 6, 5 of them have got 5-star, which is fantastic. Well done to all of them. It shows that how importantly they have been taking food safety and training element of that. So I would advise everybody that keep doing the training, keep retraining, and keep getting the 5-star.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm going to come to Jamal Ahmed next, but before that, I'm going to go straight through to Helen. Helen, how did you find the answers? I know 120 seconds is not a very long time, but a few of them mentioned the authority actually and said, they like to work with the local authority because they're there to help. What were your views on that?
Yeah, it was really interesting to see kind of from a business perspective the importance that they place on food safety, and I'm really impressed to see that there is some really interesting answers, particularly like we mentioned before around the training is really interesting to see in terms of that importance. And I was also really impressed with Cinnamon Spice, how they sort of related that back to how there's a sort of financial implication or sort of insurance implication on not complying with the law from a food safety perspective as well. So yeah, it was all very, very good. So I'm very impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And actually, I think, do you find when you go to restaurants yourself, they have a guard up as soon as they know?
Yeah, a little bit. There is a bit of a nervous, if they know what I do as a job, there is a slightly nervous
What
kind
can
of
you
side.
say to those that are watching from home, that are restaurant owners? You know, what would you like to say to them as a person from the local authority?
That we are here to help, that we want to work with businesses that want to do it right and want to work and get it right, and that's the important thing. So it's not a case of kind of thinking that we're there to close them down or whatever it might be. Ultimately, we want to work with businesses and actually want thriving but good businesses out there that do the job properly.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Going to come straight through to Jamal Ahmed. If I could ask the mic to be passed on to Jamal Ahmed. And of course, the same thing goes to you. I just want to know, do we have, you know, you're also an MD for a training centre, do we have enough training courses running for these restaurant owners when it comes to health and safety?
Thank you, Nadia. It's a fantastic show. Having heard everyone, I think everyone emphasized on the training, and I would say that get the training and get the skill. If all the staffs are trained, then of course they can maintain their high standard, I think 5-star rating. And they did mention, I think most of the owners, they talked about the training, especially HACCP training and the food safety training. If they implement this training and if they show this, then definitely they can not only increase their star rating, but also they can take our industry forward. And in terms of training, you did say that, I think at this stage, as Mr. Abdullah mentioned about the other key aspects, so not only the food safety, health and safety, first aid and fire safety, I think people are more aware now than before. So this is really very, very important. And I think from the having heard the 7 contestants, most of them mention about teamwork. Teamwork is really very, very important to reach the common goal. And I wish all the best to the all contestants.
Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much for that. I think, yes, definitely, teamwork is probably the most important thing in any workforce. And of course, when you're running your own business, it's probably the most important thing. Mr. Farooq, what are your views on that? Do you think teamwork is more important than health and safety, or does it work hand in hand?
What I was listening to, I was not listening to the 7 panelists here, but I was listening to the second generation, because these are the vanguard of our catering industry. And the way they were talking about the food safety and the health safety, I was really amazed that they are equipped with the knowledge. And all of them have provided the training for themselves and their staff as well. But when we are talking about the training, remember that for training you don't have to go to a college or to any center. You can learn it from internet as well. And if you know something, you can train it back to your staff. And if you can implement a system, which you all know about HACCP or risk assessment, if you can do that and make, at the end of the day, make your food safe, you will be safe, your restaurant will be safe, the industry will be safe.
Thank you.
But to do that, the bottom line, you have to be motivated. You cannot just say from your mouth that you will do it. You have to be motivated, you have to implement a policy, you have to satisfy the local government that you are doing it. And if you can do that, and if you work as a team, as Hafizur Rahman and Mansur Ahmad, they showed, they demonstrated how, you know, in a group they can do it. I like this bit. That do it as a team and you will win.
I like that. Do it as a team and you will win. Thank you very much, Mr. Farooq. He always has these lovely little metaphors that take you a very long way. For those of you at home, just a quick reminder that we do only have 3 minutes remaining before the results will be revealed, hopefully, which I'm super excited about. And also for those of you at home, you can be a part of the Catering Circle. All you've got to do is go onto facebook.com and you can leave your messages there, or on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget, you can follow us at Catering Circle. But I'm going to come straight to Arlene now. And I'd like to know from Arlene, I don't know where the mic is, so if I could ask you to pass the mic on to Arlene. You're a senior consultant in training. Now, you know, when you're running a business, working myself in an industry where there's lots of training going on, it's really hard to train staff. You know, you've got a busy schedule. You've got to have that time. How do you manage time, work, and then training?
Integrate all of them together.
And how would you advise them to do that?
When I train, the majority of training that I do, I go to the actual workplace of the candidates. And in that way, I can make it a hands-on and a practical training procedure. So I will, if I have 3-4 people, I will take them through the kitchen. I'll take them through the restaurants. I take them through all different pieces of equipment. I'll open the fridges. So what's that doing there? Yeah. You know, how long has that been there? What's that? Oh, it's chicken. I said, how do you know that? Because I can't see a label. How long has it been in there? Oh, it's hours. We're going to eat that later on. How do I know that? You know, so it's I take it through, and it's a little quiz, and it keeps everybody active and learning at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I'm going to actually now move on to Raza Mia, and who's also works as a senior advisor for the local authority. And if I could ask you, you know, again, I asked Helen something very similar. How do you manage those expectations with restaurant owners when you go there? How is it for you? I mean, what advice would you like to give them?
Well, what we've done, sorry, I'm Raza Mia from Worcestershire Regulatory Services. What we've done, we've sort of got hold of the community leaders in our local authority, and we told them, right, you tell us what you need from us. How can we help you? So what we done at the end of the day, we done a training session that was quite unique to the Indian industry, or the Indian trade, I should say, but we made it more visual. So instead of having all these long, lengthy legislation and a lot of information, because you have to remember, in the kitchen itself, people like to see everything visually, and this is exactly what we've done. And again, in our local authority, a lot of the restaurants that was like sort of bordering satisfactory have significantly improved. And it's just like just telling them just the very basic, and as long as the staff sort of retain that, just understand what is basic cross contamination. You know, just remember that, and just to keep a lot of the practicalities like the raw and the cooked meat separate. And that was a very successful target, if I could put it that way. So from that point of view, it sort of worked for us. But I think I could share the same with the other local authorities who are sort of scratching their heads. How can we help the community?
Brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Raza. Absolutely, the local authority are here to help you. And of course, don't forget, you can get in touch with your local authority. You can find all the details on the website. And of course, if you go onto cateringcircle.com, you can leave your messages and we can try and help you. We're going to go on a short break, and straight after the break, we shall reveal which 6 of the contestants have made it through to the second round. Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 5 of the Catering Circle. I can tell you right now, the judges feel relieved. They've done the hard part. But somebody else that are feeling it right now are our contestants that are here with us today. I'm about to reveal today's results. Are you all ready for it? Right, we are going to lose one contestant today in this round, and we will take with us 6 contestants to the second round. And the results are: in first place, we have Panchi from Surrey. Well done. Congratulations on that. Then we have Dalchini Spice with 95% of the votes, Balti Mahal with 90%, and also Pataras with 90% again, and Cinnamon Spice with 85%, and Olive Limes with 70%. However, Yuva scored 40%, and we are having to say goodbye to Mr. MD Akbar Hussain from Yuva today. Really, really sorry, but congratulations to everybody that have made it through to round 2. So without any further ado, let's see what round 2 is all about. It's all about training. Yes, they mentioned it in the first round. Quite a few of the contestants were saying that training is the most important thing when it comes to food safety and health safety. Well, let's see how you are implementing that training in your workforce right now. First up, if I could please have Mr. Ashmir from Cinnamon Spice to come and talk to us about his activities around training with his staffing and of course himself as a manager. You have 60 seconds for this round, each contestant, and your time starts now.
So what we do with the training is we provide training to all the staff. Myself, we used to employ our local authority. We used to be a training provider, but I've been on a level 4 course, so I'm able to train all my staff. And in fact, all the staff are level 2. In terms of training, we also delegate authority to the right people in the restaurant. So if I'm away, I've got my manager there. If my manager's away, I'm here. So always there's someone present with the highest standards of level, which is either 4 or 3. Myself is 4, my manager is 3. We also work with the local school as well. So we provide Indian cookery to the local school. So what we do is we go to our local school, they have a training facility there, and we train the local students there. And that's also on BBC. You can check the video clip on BBC. And also, as part of a local restaurant, we don't think we're just a business. We also provide, we integrate with the local community.
I'm going to let you finish this sentence. Really sorry.
And we integrate with the local community, and we've raised over £10,000 in monetary value to the local community.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I am aware 60 seconds isn't a lot of time, but however, the judges may ask you a few questions later on. Thank you so much for that. That was Ash from Cinnamon Spice. Next up from Panchi, if I could have Mr. Hafzul Rahman Kamali and Mr. Mansoor Ahmed to come on stage and also talk about their training aspect to things at work. And your time starts now.
Okay, basically, I'll talk about the management side now. Training, that's what we've been hearing. But I think it's very wise to know that training is something that you can give someone, but they have to take it and learn it themselves. So what we do, we're very hands-on, especially my side, my front, especially the way I look after. I'm very hands-on. I'll do something, I'll show them, I'll do it continuously, especially with the new stuff. For about a month or so when they first initially join, and from there I'll oversee it until I'm happy with the result, and then I'll take a step back. So it's very important to have the training, but I think educating as well. Now you can have to teach them what they're doing wrong, why is it wrong, and what's the benefits and the demise or whatever, the bad points of it. So that's what we are here. We go thorough into our training, not just training and just go through the book and fill up the book. I think you go on hands-on and you make sure that everything digs into their head. And now that's what I do in terms of my front, and my uncle obviously has the harder job of the kitchen. So
I'm going to let you finish that sentence.
Okay. So yeah, with him, he is obviously always on top of things, oversees things. So he backs me up in terms of just making sure everything's done, even when I do things wrong.
Brilliant.
So, okay.
Thank you very much for that. That was punchy. Thank you very much. Next up from Pataris, if I could have Rajit Mannan on stage to also come and talk about his training aspect of things at work. Whenever you're ready. Time starts now.
Right, firstly, when it comes to training, it's it's something that first you need to get right is you need to motivate the staff. You need to make them understand why are they being trained on this. Because if they get an understanding and how important it is, you don't have to continuously train them. They will train themselves because the material's out there. There's on-the-job training and there's off-the-job training. You know, the local authority loves certificates. So you've got to make sure they go off, do the training, learn, get their certificates. Even as a manager who oversees it, I need to be trained. So I need to make sure I've got my level 3, level 4s, I have an understanding. And then you show that passion to your team. And then they also take that on board and see how important it is, why we're trained on food handling and cleaning and hazard safety. And then as a team, every day it's in your daily routine. So it almost, for us, we're an open kitchen. So the whole town sees us cooking and packing and cleaning. So, you know, it's become so common that even to a knife.
I'm going to let you finish that sentence.
Even to a knife that needs to be sterilised. People forget, but there's so much equipment out there that can be used. It's unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next up, if I could have from Dalchini Spice, Mr. Shimon Ahmed, to come and take the stage and talk about training. Your time starts now.
Talk about management training. I think some of them will cover up the trainings. We do train our staff regularly every 6 months. We have a personal trainer who comes up every 6 months. Although, you know, is very oftenly the staff shortage. So the staff are regularly being changing. Therefore, we have a personal trainer who comes up every 6 months to refresh the training. This is what we follow, opening and closing checks. That's the main keys. We make sure all of our equipment are working on opening checks. Make sure we check everything before the closing checks. We have a storeroom, laundry room outside. We make sure they're all clean and tidy and don't have any gaps. And you lock the door. We lock the door before we closing checks every night. If you have we have a drainage outside of the nearest storeroom, so we seal the drainage area properly, protect from the pest. We don't left anything outside. We write down straight away if anything goes wrong on the safer food.
I'm going to let you finish that sentence, if that's all right.
Okay. Finally, we do train our staff every 6 months, and we refresh that every week. So that's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I am aware 60 seconds isn't a lot of time, but well done to all of you for trying your best. Next up, from Balti Mahal, if I could have Mr. Saiful Islam to come and take the stage. And you have 60 seconds, sir, to talk about your training aspect of things. Time starts now.
Once again, I told the first segment, training. This is the best medicine.
We picked it up from you, don't worry, sir.
This is the best medicine to improve this restaurant. What I'm doing every day or every weekly, I just display all of this, everywhere in the restaurant, kitchen particularly, in the front. So
do you want to pass that on to the judges?
If they forget about that, this could remind them, oh, I forgot that. We make our stuff like that. If anything missed, they think, oh, we missed something else. They feel like that. So I feel very proud because my restaurant is working with the regulatory service, Worcester Regulatory Service for training. We are. It's my privilege. I'm also part of this regulatory service. If they need anything, they called me. The community activist, community leader. In Worcester, we organize about more than 50 restaurants to improve their skills, and we work together.
I'm going to stop you there. Just let you finish.
Okay, we work together, and the result of that, BCA and Worcester Regulatory Service got a written agreement in Worcestershire or Midlands. This is the first thing. It's a consequence of that. So
brilliant, excellent.
My staff is very, very careful about that because I help them to do that.
Brilliant, thank you so much. That's really, really nice. You're actually the first contestant
rather than
to bring something
Thanks
home.
very much.
I'm going to let you pass that on to the special judges as you walk off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. If I could now have from Olive Limes, Mr. Mohammed Hassan, to please come on stage and also talk about training aspects of things. Your time starts now, sir.
Importantly, I think posters is important, good practice posters. We have monthly briefings and training. Projector, we use projectors to point out things, act out physically how to do things from the front and the back of house. Good habits, personal good habits, which are very important. One of the things I look for is reluctant staff. If he's not with us, if he's not doing what we want him to do, we discard them, if I may say so. How to deal with allergies. So sometimes my chef will say, well, I don't want to go to prison. I will not cook for him because it's too risky. So that's the best way. Shadowing the chefs for most staff. So applying training on the ground. Mystery diners. Color-coded cutting boards. Sterilizing, yes, sanitizing.
I'm going to let you finish this bit off.
Well, degreasing, then sanitizing. Because that's a lot of people do it the wrong way around. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I'll let you take a seat now. That's it. Round 2 is over now, and it was all about training for them and how they embed that into their workplace and their staff training and how it's managed. I'm going to ask the panel judges and the special judges to start their voting, as you can start voting now. And I'm also going to ask our judges a few questions, and I'm going to come straight through to Mr. Sultan Baba. And I'm going to ask you to tell me, you're a successful businessman, you work for the BBCA, and you come across lots of businesses and restaurants. When it comes to training, do you think really is the restaurant industry putting enough importance when it comes to training on their staff?
First of all, thank you. Thank you for asking me that. BBCA is, our association is putting an effort. Very shortly it will come out to put training throughout the country in place. That's our association's aim.
Yeah.
I personally think the first thing is the knowledge, and training is very important. Without knowing, people may die. We are talking about lives, the allergy things and all this.
Yeah.
Is completely unnecessary for suffering. It puts the NHS in pressure and everywhere, and it can be resolved for, without any much effort.
Yeah.
And this is why we think it is important, extremely important to put training in
to make it very
important thing to do.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask Mr. Mohibuddin Chowdhury, who is also the Senior Vice President of BBCCI and also the Chairman of Palm Tree Banqueting Hall. Now, you've also, you're a businessman. You've also worked with a lot of businesses in your time. Training is obviously very important. What can we do in order to educate our management staff in the restaurant industry with the importance of training?
Well, first of all, I say catering business is an important business, profitable business, but serious business again. If we fail to train our staff, then we are in trouble. Sometimes we see most of the owners say, well, staff is not listening us. It is because we are not training them properly. So we got to, if we want to run a proper business with health and safety, we have to train our staff. This is the thing every business have to do.
Yeah.
So I think there are, today's most experienced thing we heard from this contributor. They said many nice things, and I think we should, every restaurant owner should train himself and train his staff. Then it will be easier and safer to run the catering business.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
No, that's perfectly fine. That was my
so
question
that is
to you.
will be my
And you have answered
Yeah.
the question.
And we must, must not get tired as a owner.
Yeah.
Train yourself first and train your staff every time, every staff you take, and distribute your duties
Yeah.
to the staff who is doing what.
Yeah.
Then-
Delegate.
delegate.
Yeah.
And then you will be okay. You'll be running a nice business and make a lot of money.
Thank you very much. Make a lot of money. I think that's the most important thing. That's something we should definitely remember, especially when it comes to any business, actually. I'm going to ask Mr. Arup Dasgupta to answer. Now, you're an executive chef. You know, you've done that for Holiday Inn and also for Lalit, if I'm correct. Yes, Lalit London. Now, being an executive chef, when it comes to training and health and safety, do you get enough time to do it?
It's not about getting time. You have to make time for it, basically.
Thank you. Right.
So that's the most important part.
And how do you manage your staff members? How do you do that? Give us some tips. So for the businesses that are watching from home or that are here today, what's the tips that you'd like to give them when it comes to training your staff?
It's about the regime, basically, I would say. It's not about just making up for the training that I have to, do these many hours of training. It's actually practicing it.
Yeah.
And knowing the basics. So that's the main important aspect of it.
Know the basics of it.
Yeah.
And just get on with it.
Absolutely.
But, I'm going to come back to the same thing because I find, not just in the restaurant industry, but, I worked in the banking sector 10 years ago. But being a manager for a banking sector, it was really hard to find time for my staff to do their coaching, their development. How is it? Do you make that time in a restaurant, in a business?
You have to schedule a normal time, actually. I mean, we do it weekly, we do it daily, we do it on-the-job training. It's a continuous process. It never stops. You learn every day. So
yeah.
You learn from everyday, daily things, basically. So that is very important.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Mr.
Thank you.
Dasgupta. I'm going to come to our panel judges. Now, same question goes to you. I mean, they all spoke about training and how important training is and how they've managed to find time for their staff members to train. Is there anything else they could have touched on?
Talking about training, I'm just talking about just my personal experience. I was running a restaurant in City Road 5 years ago, roughly. And one of the things I used to do, every year I used to have a training budget. It's not too much, it's a few £100, £350 if I can get my memory correctly. And that £350 investment was one of the best things I've done for the restaurant. And the reason behind it is you got one trainer, you've got 10, 15 staffs, they all had a good day, understood the subject, why they're doing it, not just following the book, but also the staff morale all of a sudden gone really up. And what's most important is the investment was a major return, because I noticed from my kitchen bill from 1,000 to 1,200 gone down to £700-800, and that's because they know how to prepare it, they know how to heat it, they know how to pack it, and they manage the wastage much better. So the investment every year or every 6 months, £350 to get everyone trained, I think is very good investment.
That's a very good tip, and of course that's from your own success story, so thank you for that. Helen, what does the local authority do to help these local businesses when it comes to training their staff?
I think from every sort of inspection or intervention that an officer makes, there's always a sort of an education element to it. So there's a part where the officer will sort of discuss some solutions that businesses might have to problems that they're experiencing. I think there's also lots of options online. So the Food Standards Agency, for example, provide a lot of training materials and lots of stuff that you can do for free. So it doesn't necessarily need to go out there and get kind of consultants and some of the more expensive stuff, but there is lots of opportunities for free training and free kind of guidance and leaflets and that kind of thing that can help to educate as well.
Excellent, thank you. Now, something that I actually heard one of, can't remember from the top of my head, one of the contestants mention, and that was about having valid insurance, having that in place. Now, What do they mean by having the correct insurance in place, and why is that important?
I think what they're referring to is where something with it, we term the grease filters, so your extraction system, if that's full of grease, then it might impact on the insurance that business has. So, for example, if there's a fire, then there's a sort of causative or a fault with their systems, then they might not be able to claim on their insurance, I'm guessing is kind of where they're going with that.
Of course. Mr. Farooq, now, obviously in every job there's always risk assessments that need to take place. What would you advise the restaurant owners that are here today and at home that are watching, how to undertake a risk assessment in a restaurant?
Taking the risk assessment or abiding by the HACCP system, these are two very preventative steps. We have to remember that prevention is always better and cheaper than cure.
Yeah.
If they don't take the training, for example, which is a key to their business, also the insurance, this is another key element. If they don't do anything as a precaution, as a prevention, at the end of the day, they will have to suffer. And that is why they have to remember that training is a key element. It is for their due diligence, it is good. It is for the good practice, for the good standard. They have to have at least basic level 2. I know there are few participants who are talking about level 3 and level 4, but not every food handler requires that level 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They need only the basic one, level 2.
Which is
and that is why if they have the level 2, if they go for the refresher training, which I know I have heard, there some of them give the in-house refresher course, which are really good. But they have to remember that they have to abide by all these things.
Absolutely.
It's not about talking and then you are not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that with regards to risk assessment. I'm just going to ask one question to Mr. Bari. Now, you have, you run a banqueting hall yourself. Now, risk assessments are the most important things. Where do you get your risk assessments from, or do you make it yourself, or do you go to a website? How does it work for you?
Well, thank you very much. Nowadays, everything available online. If you search Google, you will find almost anything and everything.
Yeah.
And the HACCP system, the Safer Food, Better Business book, I think you can customize it. A lot of it is, you don't need it. I mean, for instance, I do event management. I'm not open every day. So I don't have to do every day daily check. All I have to do is every event I'm doing, when my kitchen is open, I do check on that day. So many things you can customize. It's not important for you. I think one chef see thick book, they just think it's too hard. It's very easy. Once you start following it, it's very easy.
Yeah.
So I think we need to train our staff and motivate them. Once they start doing it, they find it very easy.
Thank you very much. Ooh, Arlene, I can see her eyes just going like this. Thinking, well, actually, it's not all about Google. You can get help from trainers. And of course, we've also got Jamal Bhai and Habib Bhai sitting there thinking, maybe you should come to my training centres. I won't say any more. I'm going to go straight through to the results right now. The results are here in my hand, and we are going to say goodbye to two participants today, and we will take forward to the last round 4 of those participants, and 4 of them will be fighting for the first place, actually. Now, the results are in first place with 100%, which means everyone voted for this restaurant. Balti Mahal, congratulations. And also with 100%, Cinnamon Spice, congratulations, well done. And in second or third place, we have Pataris with 75% and Panchi with 70%. Congratulations. You 4 have made it through to the next round. However, we are saying goodbye to Dalchini Spice, Mr. Shimon Ahmed, and Olive Limes, Mr. Mohammed Hassan. I'm so sorry we're having to say goodbye to you. However, once again, congratulations for coming this far and for being nominated to actually participate in today's competition. However, It is the last round, and this is what it's all about. It's all about cost savings and how they implement that in their workforce. So to talk about this, first up from Cinnamon Spice, Mr. Ash Mia, I'd like to call you on stage and talk about cost savings and revenue increase in your workplace. And also in this round, I will give you, Actually, I'll give the panel judges a chance to ask a question, but it has to be very quick. One question from the panel judges, and I'll just cross over to the special judges as well, okay? So your time starts now.
So
you have 60 seconds, by the way.
One of the ways we save cost is many times you go to Indian restaurant, you see a big menu, over 100 items. What we've done, we've shrink the menu, and we made about 10 to 12 curries, 3 rices, 4 naan breads, 5 starters, or overall about 50 to 60 dishes. So that shrinks the cost cutting, that shrinks the purchasing, purchase products, and it's easier for the chef to manage the fridges and all the items in the kitchen. It's easier, so much easier. Furthermore, we also brand in such a way that we use no artificial colorings or preservatives. Also, we don't use any ghee in our cooking, which nowadays, in the 21st century, everybody is promoting healthy food. Everybody is living a healthy lifestyle. So that reduces cholesterols and other things that indigestion issues. So we don't use any ghee at all in our cooking. And furthermore, we use a minimum on oil and salt. And that promotes healthy food.
I'm going to stop you there, Ash. I'll let you finish that sentence quickly.
And that's how we brand and market our product. And running a business for the last 8 years, we've managed to get 8 years in food hygiene 5 stars from our local council.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Before you move, panel judges, one question. Anything you want to ask Ash, Mia?
Do your customers like your approach?
Absolutely. Our customers are key because we take pride and passion in cooking food for our customers. As I'm a perfectionist, I'll make sure that all our staff who are working for us, we make them feel special in providing food, not for customers only, for their guests. So if a guest come to your house, obviously you're going to give them 5-star treatment. The same thing, that's the approach, that we give them the mindset to understand that you guys are cooking food for your guest.
Brilliant.
And
Thank you.
Obviously it's business, but that's the mindset.
And one
that we give them.
question from our special judge. Yes, Mr. Mia.
Thank you for that. That was very informative. The question is, how do you ensure that quality and not quantity is maintained?
Absolutely, it's a fantastic question. I'll tell you why. Now, we don't underprice our product. Now, we're selling chicken tikka masala at £8.50. However, we are putting a service charge on that. Furthermore, we're reducing the portion size to, for example, I've done a market research and I go to restaurants as a mystery customer and I've seen 8-piece, 9-piece, 10 pieces of chicken. We give 5 pieces. Believe it or not, you come to my restaurant, you'll see 5 pieces of chicken going in the main course. However, if you don't have a starter, you'll get 6 pieces. So they're customized to how much a person can eat. Furthermore, the rice quantity is so much that if you come to my restaurant, you're going to say, whoa, this is half the portion we serve, which is adequate for one person. As you understand, rice contains a lot of carbs. So ideally, when somebody enters Cinnamon Spice, they're spending £40 per head. And that's why we don't need to serve 100 customers, whereas a standard curry house down the road might sell 100 servings, and I can sell 50 and still turn over more money.
Thank you, Ash. I'm going to stop you there. Okay. I do apologise because you do have 60 seconds to answer to talk, and then you have 30 seconds to answer a question.
Okay, sorry about that.
So no, that's perfectly fine. Thank you very much. That was.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Your questions were answered. Thank you very, very, very much. Now I'd like to call upon stage from Panshi, Mr. Hafzul Rahman Kamali and Mr. Monsoor Ahmed back on stage, and I will give you 60 seconds to talk about cost saving and revenue, and then I'll pass it across to the panel. Time starts now.
So the basic way we save on cost by using the Safer Business and the health way is basically we make sure the stock is controlled. Now we order what we need to order, which limits thing going off any sort of contamination, anyone falling over, too much stock. Kitchen gets burdened with too much lack of space, people fall over. So that's one way. Stock rotation, so you make sure the first thing in goes out first. So you make sure everything's kept fresh. Reducing wastage by cooking what we need to cook for that day. Make sure that's utilized, and then when it comes to next shift, we cook it again. So again, that reduces the wastage, and also reduce the risk of any sort of contamination or any bad food going out to the customers. Again, healthier cooking process, using lower oils, less oil, cooking other processes, using grills instead of the things. Less damage as well. If you use that method of safely cooking and cleaning and making sure everything's clean, you make sure that your equipment lasts longer because it's being maintained well. So if we start doing once weekly, we make sure it's cleaned after every shift on a daily basis.
I'm going to stop you there.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Was that?
That's it.
Yep, brilliant. Thank you. Panel judges, any questions?
Yeah, just need a bit clarification on increasing revenue. In terms of, are you advertising in, I don't know if you got 4 or 5 star?
I've got 5 star.
5 star, lovely. So if you have 5 star, how are you marketing that and to increase revenue by bringing new customers?
Yeah, in terms of revenue, so we use social media. Our best way of advertising is actually your word of mouth, your customer retention. One will bring in 10. And we've seen that growth in the last 5 years we've been in business. It's year on year is going up.
Local newspaper?
Local newspaper, obviously. Obviously, you've got things like scout groups, you've got football teams, things like that. You've got constant leafleting. That leaflet mentions the 5 star. So the revenue is going to be there as long as your food and it's healthy and it's good and you've got that rating which emphasizes your quality of your product. The branding side and the thingy will come naturally.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mohib Chowdhury has a question for you.
Yeah.
Ooh, one more question from our special judges.
Well done. You two are together. It's nice to see. Anyway, I want to go back to the portion. Do you give big portion to your customer?
No. So
you
my previous person, that's it. This is a good attitude to have.
Thank you for your question.
Sorry, thank you for your question. So this is new generation of thinking. So
That's right.
we're coming from new generation. We don't need to feed a plate full of food to a customer and make sure they sleep there. We make sure that we give an adequate amount.
That's right.
Yeah, they go home healthy. They feel healthy about eating Indian food because what's the mentality of Indian food? Oh, it's too filling. So I'll order less. As a businessman, we need to think. We need to give the adequate amount that will sustain them for that evening, and they need to be hungry to come back to us again.
That's right.
That's the attitude that we need to have, and that's what we do. We do my
Thank you
very important.
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for your answers. Next up is from Pataris. I've got Mr. Rajid Mannan, who's going to be coming on stage just about now to talk about cost savings and his revenue increase. Your 60 seconds start now.
Right, cost savings. Cost savings is obviously first. You can have a big menu, you can have a small menu. Personally, it doesn't really matter, but you need to understand your menu, where it's costing. So, also on that, you need to understand your customers' needs. So from that, what you get is you can maintain your stock levels. I know it's very important. A lot of people are saying, low stock, this and that. Sometimes it doesn't work because one week you're very busy, one week you're not. But if you understand the needs of your customers, because I'm sure we all have regular customers, you understand the need, you see what you sell the most, and we all sell masalas and kumras left, right and centre, don't we, on Saturdays? Of course we do. But sometimes people are underpricing it. They're the most expensive dishes. Price them high. Demand and need and supply and demand, right? So what sells best, that's got to be the most expensive dish. Now, from that, everything's linked. I mean, we're talking about health and hygiene and safety. Now, if you've got all that right, when it comes to branding, that is giving you the branding, your name. Us being an open kitchen, that's our signature, that people know. They look at these guys, they're shouting about it, they're cleaners, look at their menu.
Your time's finished, I'm so sorry. I'll let you finish that sentence quickly.
So it's all about letting your customers know what you are, and then from that, you can understand where you need to cut costs,
Brilliant.
Where you can make your money.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the judges? Yes.
Stock rotation is one of the elements for saving your money and your product. How do you do that?
Yeah, like I said, it's me. I know how my menu is. I know what I sell most, what I don't. So every week, me personally, actually look at the stock and go out myself. Sometimes get it. Yeah, we've got suppliers. But sometimes I can be a bit tight and be like, right, this week I'm going to go out myself, save myself £100. So it's all about understanding the ingredients you need. So it's sometimes, you know, everybody has a signature dish.
Thank you.
But we're done again.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to stop you there. Thank you so much. One question. Yes, I'll come to Mr. Jamal right there.
Thank you,
A quick
Rajesh.
question.
Just referring to Mr. Shakir Bafar, as he asked you about stock rotation. Have you heard FIFO?
Have I heard?
Something called first in.
Sorry.
First out.
Yeah,
so that is one of the key element of the stock rotation. So just one thing I'm asking you, everyone mentioning about cost saving. What about allergen? How will you ensure your staff member, they are following the recent legislation in terms of allergen information?
Well, going back to that, if I had the time, I would have thought of going.
30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds to answer
Firstly, again, that comes down to how much you're cooking, and allergens it's all about, again, training, isn't it? So if you're educating, on our menu, it's all there. What's dairy? What's gluten free? Everything's on the menu. Even the menu's not just for a customer to study; it's for your chefs to study. It's all there. They know exactly what allergens, where what goes what. We have big signs, and obviously myself, the chef, we're all trained on allergens. What we have is clearly explained. What contains nuts, what contains gluten. I mean, our menus are gluten free. A lot of people don't know that.
Thank you. I'm going to stop you there. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well done. Congratulations. And I'd like to now call upon stage Balti Mahal, Mr. Saiful Islam, to come on stage. And you have 60 seconds to talk about cost and revenue increase. And your time starts now, Mr. Islam.
Good evening again. As a this generation, I'm try to using this technology as much as I can. Starting with the stock taking, we do this computerized. It save money. We're using the software. It can tell me end of the night how many chicken dishes we sell, how many lamb dishes we sell, how much we stock in it for the following days. So this is important to cost cutting, and also cooking food as required for the following days. Chef knows that, as a computer says him. Second thing is insurance. It's save you the money, longer process. Should be the public liability insurance, staff insurance, building insurance, content insurance. That could save you thousands of money. Second thing is, as I told you, I'm using the special, the software. It could save money and could save my one staff is all.
Brilliant. I'm going to stop you there.
One more thing I'd like to
Quickly,
yeah. I do this branding like as a charity, local charity. Most of the charity they knows I am the person donate generously.
Excellent.
And also I am supporting the local as a sportsman. I'm playing badminton like to do, and supporting this and donating them for any events, anything.
At the so you help them, so you do
Meal for
lots of
Food, they
sponsorship.
knows that that's the popular
Thank
one
you
in
very
our
much.
areas.
Thank you, very much.
Give me the
I'm gonna
opportunities,
I'm
explore
gonna-
myself.
Thank you. God, wow. You really want to put everything in there, don't you? We have a
You
question
give me my
from
only 60
Mr.
seconds,
Bar-
not enough to 60 seconds.
I've got Mr. Bari who has a question for you.
I want to ask you just one thing. I think our biggest reason for closing down restaurant is the pest control. And do you know that you don't need to professionally employ a pest controller, what I think most of the restaurants do. If you know how to control pest, most of the pest controlling is 80%, I think, is the good housekeeping, and I think 80% or 90%. Then only 5 to 10% is by medicine or by whatever you provide. So good housekeeping is you can keep the pest away from your premises. How do you manage your pest control?
Just clean, tidy up. That's your surface, restaurant, kitchen, everywhere. If you need clean, tidy every day, pest will be going away. 90% to 95%. That is the 5% or less than 5% chance would be the pest in there. For that, I got the special treatment from the specialist. They're coming every quarterly to the restaurant. They check everything is all right. And also I'm running the restaurant as a manager. I'll make sure that everything is clean and tidy, and also the advice I got from the specialist is being served. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Arlene, you have a question?
I don't have a specific question for the gentleman, but for all of them in general, to find out and to see perhaps if they've thought about the fact that they have kept everything clean, hygienic, and no one has been ill, and that in itself is a saving method of saving monies and cutting costs, because
Exactly.
the implications
Yes.
of not keeping good hygiene means that people will be ill, there will be prosecutions, and there will be fines. Which are issued, and that in itself could close the business.
Brilliant,
So it's
thank
good
you.
to see
Brilliant.
that they're all,
Thank you very
know,
much.
Prevention is
cost-cutting
better than the cure.
That's right.
Absolutely. Mr. Habib, do you have a
Said already.
question?
I've one question to you specifically about use by date. How do you monitor use by date for your high risk food?
Yes, that's a very good question. When you cook, my chef knows that. When he cooked, whatever he cooked today, put this label on that. And the container, we got this user container, which is got the lid. On the top of the lid, they written it down. We cooked on particular, this is the 1st of August. They knows by maximum 3 days this has to go. If not, they put in the bin. So
Thank
this
you
is the
so
best
much.
way to maintain that.
Excellent. Thank you.
And also, I think
I'm going to stop you there.
we record on the computer. Computer also, if that chef missed that, the front staff or management staff, they said, "Oh, you cooked that food. Make sure
Yeah.
it's gone."
I'm going to stop you there. I'm so sorry. Thank you. You're very cheeky, but thank you so much. Well done. I'm going to ask all the contestants to come on stage, the 4 that have made it through to the last round. If you could come on stage. Whilst we get the result together, I'm going to go to our panel judges today who had 60% of the votings, and I'm going to ask you in 20 seconds to sum up today's contestants.
I think the last 4 we have the spoken, well spoken, the in depth, and I kind of like them all. I won't go in details who I really liked, but overall.
Who was your favourite? Who do you think the winner is?
I think.
I have the results. Well, it's still adding, but.
Shall I? Patharis did very well. I think I like that. Cinnamon Spice covered quite a bit.
Brilliant.
Overall, everyone done very well. I think they know their
Thank
subject.
you very much.
Pest control hasn't been covered much, but
Something they can touch
by
on.
everything else, it's a big subject, so we don't expect
Thank you.
everyone to cover every bit of it.
I'm going to ask
If you gave us a
Helen.
little bit more time.
I know. You know what?
I know
Don't
how you
don't
feel.
shoot the messenger, please. I'm just here.
60 minutes. Not enough to.
I'm going to ask Helen to say a few things.
Yeah, from a regulatory point of view, I was really impressed to see such a kind of passionate group of people who all obviously see food and health
Yeah.
and safety as a really important element of their business, and obviously very passionate about it, which is great to see. If I had a favourite, I really like the double act. I think they're great.
Yeah.
Just from a sort of amusement
really
point
good,
of view, but
weren't
also
they?
in terms of the passion
Yeah.
there as well. So it's great.
Thank you very much, Mr.
I think
Farooq.
I think I'll congratulate all of them. They
Yeah.
have done really good.
They've done very well.
And particularly, few of them who are here, they have done extremely well. They have been really good. I'm so proud of them. And all I can say, whoever wins, the 2 of them will have to go to the final. But whoever these 2 are, congratulations in advance.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Absolutely, I think everyone did brilliant. And I do have the results here. Oh, can we have the cameras on our contestants right now? Because I think they're very nervous. And the 2 that are going through to the business conference 2018 are Cinnamon Spice and Punchy. Congratulations. Let's all give them a round of applause, please. We are having to say goodbye to Patharis and Balti Mahal. If I could ask Ash to come forward and say a few words. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for obviously giving me that opportunity to come to Channel S and participate in this, because it's not just about Cinnamon Spice, it's obviously giving the message to the rest of the industry, because the industry needs support, and Channel S is a great platform, one of the best platforms obviously to relay the messages to the whole of the industry. So again, once again, thank you to Channel S.
Thank you so much. And if I could now also ask from Punchy, congratulations, the duo. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been an honor,
please.
to be honest, sharing a stage with someone like them. I like their passion. It's someone out there that with a similar kind of ideology and mentality. So it's good to see that, because that's what we need now. I think as an industry which is now suffering, we need to have that evolution now. We need to evolve to at different heights now. So it's good that someone like him and obviously others here with that kind of ideology, we can only go forward and get better.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
once again, to everybody that participated today, congratulations. And thank you so much to our panel judges and to our special judges. Let's give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, a big thank you to our audience at home watching today. Don't forget, you can be a part of this show. All you've got to do is tweet in at Catering Circle or follow us on Instagram and Facebook and leave us your messages. And of course, I was your host today, Nadia Ali, and I will be joining you again on the 15th of August with a new topic about attracting the younger generation in the restaurant industry. But for now, it is time for me and the Catering Team Circle to say goodbye. Thank you.